Good morning, Market Sniper. This is Jesse. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, right? So hope everyone's got some nice plans lined up for the weekend. We have a lot to cover today. We're talking about the last couple of days. You know, the dollar has been on a run for 77 days. If you go back from this wick to this wick right here, 77-day uptrend, right? So eventually we're going to see pullbacks. And if the market is going down, eventually we're going to see bounces, right? So doesn't mean the overall trend is going to be changing, but it is going through a pullback right now on the dollar, as we can see it right now. And we're going to dive right into it. So we're going to cover the dollar. We're going to cover Bitcoin, which is hovering around right at 28,000. The Nasdaq's right around $15,000. And then we're getting bounces across the board, all the same time that the dollar is doing a pullback, the VIX is doing a pullback, all that stuff, right? So we'll dive into all that the first 15 to 30 minutes. And then the second half of the live stream, we're going to do your requests. So make sure to comment any asset you want me to cover, and we'll cover that on the second half. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, everybody. Make sure to say good morning in the comments, and we'll definitely get to them all, but we're going to jump right into the charts and get going. I'm going to put as you can see, it's kind of breaking down here on the dollar after this uptrend. We talked about it. We talked about there is bearish divergence on the daily chart. Glitch, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So you can see that we have this bearish divergence on the dollar, right? Let me go to the big screen. Hold on. Time out. All right. On the dollar, you can see that we had divergence here on RSI, right? You got a divergence, whereas prices made higher highs and RSI was making lower highs. Followed by today, we have an RSI sell signal. We have price breaking down from this upward trend line, going back more than 77 days. It was 77 days from the bottom wick to the top wick, expecting pullbacks. We've already drawn out the target boxes. Kind of zooming out on this recap here. We hit 3 of the 4 major targets to the downside. Then price hit 3 of the 4 targets to the upside. Is this a pattern? Is this a pattern for DXY? Good morning, Be Balanced. Hi from Germany. Usually I quiet here for every day. Been following you for about 1.5 years. Awesome, Be Balanced. Interested to see if what your X app name is, so I can kind of it's hard to know everyone's name from spot to spot, but is this the trend, right? Is this the DXY dollar trend that we hit 3 of the 4 targets, we don't hit the 4th target, and then on to the upside we hit 3 of the 4 targets? Is this going to be a continued trend for the snipers on the dollar, where we see it come down, hit 3 of the 4 targets, and then bounce from there, right? But as of right now, there was a 77-day uptrend, right? And then we saw the bearish divergence. My name is Nikki. Cool. So bearish divergence. Now we're looking at a pullback. So obviously a daily close is more important than not. Like it could be down here right now, and then by the time the end of the day, it could close back above, just like a wick was put in at 106, call it 106.70, right, on the dollar. And then you can see it kind of breaking down from there. So it looks like it's in pullback mode because it started with the wick, and it seems like it could close back below this upward trend line for 77 days. Looks like it could get a candle close below the trending dots. Seems like after the bearish divergence, it could hit some of these targets to the downside, and then we'll find out if it's going to find support and then continue to bounce higher, right? So at this point, we're kind of in the middle of the road. Are we eventually going to come back down and hit this 4th target that was never hit, or are we going to hit this 4th target up here? None of that really matters right now until we hit this next target, this first target to the downside, then maybe the second target. Good morning from Germany once again. Should we expect a bounce in SP 500 or straight down? Alexi, what you'll hear me say a lot is that it never, like, rarely does it ever just go straight down or straight up forever. Expect bounces along the way in a downtrend. Expect pullbacks in an uptrend, right? So that's why we're swing traders, right? We're expecting bounces and retracements along the way. When price was pumping all the way up here, we were calling for the pullback at about 112 back here. And then we had 3 out of the 4 major targets hit to the downside, just missed the 4th target by like less than $1, right? And then on this breakout, we're expecting a retracement from this move here, right? And now after this 77-day uptrend, we're expecting, after bearish divergence, we're expecting a pullback. Yeah, I mean, patience is what you need. Patience is what is needed to be a sniper, right? If you're going to be sniping the markets, you need patience, right? You got to wait for your setup to come to you and not try to force anything. So, and know when to take profits, know when the trend is changing, right? So you can see like this is a 77-day trend, bearish divergence, September 27th and October 3rd. And then here we are, another close down, close down. You could even say this is like an engulfing bearish candle here, right? And then another close. And then now this would be after a wick up. This would be the first close back below the 77-day upward trend. And then also you're going to see, most likely a close below there, right? So that's the dollar. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin, after putting in this high up here, we were expecting a pullback and we were looking for multiple targets to get hit to the downside. It did. We were looking for it to find support. We had a reversal candle and then followed by, a buy signal, and price came up and hit 3 targets so far. Yesterday, I removed the 4th target. Today, I put the 4th target back on. But one thing we did say was that we expected price for like weeks, if not months, to kind of like put in a lower high and build out our right shoulder. And it could take weeks or months to do that, right? And we've been drawing this out. So if this is your first time on the channel, right? Welcome. But we are expecting, and we have been drawing this out on the live streams and the Bitcoin updates on the videos. And then when would it drop? Would it drop after the first target, the second target, the third target, or the 4th target? But what we've been talking about is it'd come down like this, find support, hit targets to the upside on a retracement. It could take weeks, if not months, to play out. And that's been the case. Where would we be wrong, right? Where would we be wrong? Well, we would be wrong if price comes up like this, breaks all the targets, flips these targets into support, and then continue out, right? So that's where we would be wrong to the upside. It no longer puts in just a lower high. It would actually break through the targets, and then that resistance gets flipped into support and then comes out, and then you play to the upside, right? So I think that's a less likely scenario, but it is possible. So we have to stay neutral and not be too biased on what we think is going to happen. But the same plan is still in play until it's not, right? For me. So that's still the same plan laid out until it's not. And then, because this is what bearish divergence, right? And then the higher probability short is the lower high. So a bounce and putting in a lower high and shorting that bounce is the higher probability. Yes, I took a short back here, took profit, took a long position, right? And now we're just kind of waiting to see if it's going to break out past this to the upside, or if it's just going to continue to put in that lower high there on Bitcoin. just as we were talking about months ago, and then see if it breaks down from there and hits these lower targets longer term, right? So we're going to continue to see. This would be very similar to what we've been talking about in silver and gold, and it took a while to play out in silver and gold as well on the weekly chart. So if we go to the weekly chart and see it, there's even a buy signal on the weekly chart, for silver and gold, just as there is on Bitcoin, right? So that's what we're watching. Is it going to play out similar to silver and gold and then continue to break down? We'll see how it plays out. So kind of what we're talking about in silver and gold is you had these buy signals, but lower highs were getting put in and then broke back down and got below the 200-week moving average. On gold, put in that lower high with buy signal, lower high with buy signal, and then broke back down and it's trending back down towards the 200-week moving average, but has not hit it yet, right? So we're expecting bounces along the way. On the shorter time frames, on gold, we're looking at, bounce scenario, right? We have on the 4-hour chart, this was a massive move down from a couple of weeks ago, right? So it's been 3 weeks of on the 4-hour chart. So that's 15 days and 20 hours on the 4-hour chart. That's a long trend down of just pure straight downward movement on a 4-hour chart, right? So we expect bounces, and this is a pending buy signal on the bounce. You can eyeball it out where you've got target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4. So you can kind of see if it's going to remain bearish on gold, kind of getting that retracement and then come back down, getting that retracement, coming back down, getting that retracement, coming back down. So we'll see as the dollar is pulling back and breaking down. Gold looks like it's found support here. Let's look to see if there's any bullish divergence on it. Let me get off of this. I'm back on the crosshairs. Bullish divergence, right? So we've got bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart, followed by a higher low, right? And now it's flipping bullish, right? So pending buy signal, and then we can see these targets to the upside. Take a quick breath. Take a quick water drink. Let's take a look at these comments. Hey, let's not forget our goal together is to snipe these markets. Our goal together is to smash this like button and help me get 100 likes, hit our goal. It's Friday. Come on. Help me out. Don't make me hit the subscribe button. All right. Let's get back to it. Good morning. Michael Gold made it. Awesome. Mike G, my man, Mike G from the Discord. Sniper from Australia. What's up? I'm glad you made it. What time is it there, Mike? Holy crap. That must be super early there or super late. What time is it there, Mike G? Let me know. Good morning. Good morning, Glitch. Welcome. This is Alex, by the way. I guess my name doesn't show. Oh, okay. Alex. I recognize a couple Alexes from the X app. Let me know. Is it Alex from the X app? Let me know. Welcome. Morning, Olson. Aldo. You're so consistent, my man. You're so consistent spelling my name wrong, Olsen. I appreciate it. I'm always going to pronounce people's names wrong, especially from different countries and stuff. So I apologize in advance. I will always do that. I'm already in my mid 40s. I don't think I'm going to get any better at it. Maybe slightly better, but when things are moving and shaking very quickly, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. So thank you for misspelling my name as it all balances out. B Balance. Speaking of the devil, B Balance. Hi from Germany. Usually quiet, but here every day. Been following you for about 1.5 years on Twitter. Thank you. And I apologize at the same time for following me that long. But my name is Nikki. All right. Awesome. Welcome, Nikki. Thank you for following me for 1.5 and continue to support me. Oswaldo Flores. Good morning. Good morning, my man. Alexi, hey, hello from Germany once again. Should we expect bounce to SP 500 or straight down? We'll get into it. We're going to cover SP 500 for sure. It looks like it's currently bouncing right now. It's been crashing, right? So expecting bounces along the way. Waiting for the bounce patiently to stock up shorts. Yep, that's good to be patient. Be selective. Be a sniper and be selective. Don't be a someone on the machine gun. Don't be someone with a shotgun. Don't be someone who trades like a million different things at a million different times. Maybe you can. Maybe you're really good at that. I'm just a lot better choosing a couple assets. Probably no more than 3 at one time. Even though sometimes it is very tempting, and I've remembered why I don't like to be into 10 different trades at once. Then I have to like make decisions in real time on 10 different trades. And I definitely get watered down personally myself. So I'm not quite as good. Let's see. So that's what I was talking about. Glitch, doesn't 5-day have bullish divergence? On what chart? Glitch, doesn't 5-day have bullish divergence? What asset are you looking at? Let me know. I sometimes I talk fast on different assets and I can't remember which one we're at. So maybe the comments kind of come through and I've already kind of moved on. Caesar, good morning. Can we check Disney? Definitely. Welcome back. Took position at 79. Daily bullish divergence, daily pending buy, already in profits, and stop loss at entry. So are you in a short position? And are you looking to take profit, or are you in a buy? Are you in a long position? Let me know. Reiki, welcome back. Dicer Girl, what's up? Discord member. Could I have my usual? Oh, man. I'm thinking the usual is U.S. oil and natural gas. Let me know. Natural gas is up again, 3.73%. It's bullish. Arnold, another Discord member. Good morning, Arnold. Welcome back, my man. 2 a.m. Mike G's partying over there. 2 a.m. Wow. Thanks for staying up late with us over here. We'll try to make it a good one. Comment which ones you want me to look at. Let me guess. Bitcoin miners. Come on. I know my people. Mike G, Bitcoin miners. Reiki wants U.S. oil and natural gas. I'm sure of it. Maybe it's a forex pair. I can't remember the forex pair. Was it the euro and the euro Japanese pair? Reiki for is that the right one? Out with the dogs, Reiki. We'll get to that one. Glitch X app, brother. Haha, great stream. Oh, Alex. Yeah. Alex, if it's the one I'm thinking of, Alex, then yeah, you're always supportive and sharing my stuff over there on X app. Thank you. Welcome. Out with the dogs. Yeah, I walked my boss earlier this morning. We were out there first thing 6 a.m. and it's quieter out there. It's nice. It's quieter out there at the park. Lucky Look. Hey everyone. Welcome back, Lucky Look. Glitch BTC. Oh, okay. We'll take a look. So that was that 5-day have bullish divergence. Okay, we'll take a look at it. Caesar long on Disney. Okay. All right. I got it. All right. We're going to get back to it. We're going to come back to more of the comments and let me know if you guys want me to chart anything. And for now, we'll get right back to it. And let's take a look at these potential bounces along the way. Remember, it's early in the day and the day has not closed, but we are seeing some bounces. For example, on the 4-hour chart for gold, silver, same thing, pending buy signal, same thing, looking at some of these targets. Target 1's most likely has already been hit. Target 2 is probably coming up around this 200-week moving average. Hasn't really retested it. Come back for a retest, right? Could come all the way back up to target 3. Who knows, all the way back up, right? So that's silver, gold futures, pending buy signal, and a reversal candle all at once on the Dow Jones 4-hour chart, right? And again, another big move down, right? Over 6.5% on the Dow Jones futures over 18 days, right? Expect bounces along the way. expect retracements along the way, right? So that's Dow Jones, pending buy signal and a reversal candle all in the same candle. So expecting these bounces, at least in the 4-hour time frame, right? And kind of map it down. Let's see. So that's a more aggressive line right there. Let's change this back off of the dotted line. Get back onto the regular line. Let's keep going. S&P 500, they're all looking the same now, right? We're all seeing the dollar breaking down on a retracement. We're seeing bounces along the way, at least on the 4-hour chart. Again, a reversal candle and a pending buy signal all at once. And so that's what we're kind of looking at. We'll map out all the targets. Maybe we'll do a deeper dive video tonight and send it out through the free newsletter. So if you're not on the free newsletter, I'll do a little bit more. I'll do a deeper dive on the markets and the pullbacks, and I'll put all the targets. I'll put all the details on the targets in the Discord. So if you want to know all the exact details and stuff, then check it out in the Discord. I'll tag everyone in the Discord as well. And let's keep rocking and rolling here. So that's S&P 500, pending buy signal and reversal candle on the 4-hour chart. Same thing with the Russell 2000, pending buy signal and reversal candle, all in the same candle. So we'll see how it plays out. NASDAQ doesn't have a reversal candle, but it does have a pending buy signal and did have a reversal candle back here a few days ago or a week ago, right? So I had a reversal candle on the 4-hour chart. Looks like a higher low was put in, possibly another higher low here, and then continue back up. And this line is drawn out from where our third lower high would be. We were talking about how this could potentially be the third lower high. It's looking like it's not now. It's looking like the third lower high could be much higher. And if you kind of look at the eyeball test, right, you got like target 1, target 2, possibly target 3 all the way up here. A lower high could be put in. Get that retracement back up like this, right? And then roll over after that. So you've got a lower high, potentially coming up right now. But right now, it's bouncing, right? It's bouncing. And you can see right there, there's also bullish divergence right there as well. So that's what we're watching. And let's keep going. Bitcoin, take a look at it. Again, just kind of wait and see in there. Let's look at the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield is kind of like looking the same, but in the inverse, right? So let's get back on the crosshairs. We've got bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart, and we've got a reversal candle working on the 10-year yield as well. So are we going to see some relief here in the 10-year yield? Maybe we can get some lower 30-year mortgage rates. So some of our mortgage friends out there and can get some refinances going. You know, anyone who took a mortgage, you know, in the last, I don't know, 6 months, maybe you can get some refis out there and get some business going out there in the refi business. So hopefully you can get some short-term, get at least some bounces and take advantage of it, you know, in case this is a longer-term downward trend, right? DXY broke down on the 4-hour chart, had the bearish divergence even on the 4-hour chart. We're looking on the daily chart, but on the 4-hour chart, it had it, and then followed by, you know, the RSI sell signal here, followed by started breaking down and the sell signal. And then, of course, you know, back below the trend line, fake out to the upside, followed by the close back down below. So trending downward towards this first target to the downside on the DXY, the VIX breaking down, had the bearish divergence going back from here, bearish divergence, followed by the sell signal, RSI sell signal, and it's breaking down in the VIX. US oil had this large breakdown. Now we're looking for the bounces, right? Hit target 3. I haven't even changed the target box yet from orange to green. Change this to target hit, right? It barely hit it, but we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it 3 targets hit, and now we're gonna see if there's gonna be a bounce. It's too early to say, but it could be bouncing, right? And you probably have to drop down to even lower time frame. There's no bullish divergence yet on the 4-hour chart. There is bullish divergence on the 2-hour chart, and it could be flipping around in the lower time frames, but in the 4-hour chart, still nothing yet on US oil. So if you're in a US oil short, of course, none of this is financial advice. You know that. This is for educational and hopefully a little bit of entertainment purposes only. And so if you were in a short position on US oil, right? Depending if it's a longer term or if it was based off the daily chart or a lower time frame, at what point do you decide to take profit? Is it target 1? Is it target 2? Is it target 3? Are you at what point do you take profit? And that's something you have to decide, right? If I was in a short position, for example, on this 4-hour chart, and I rode it all the way down, and I was even in like some sort of a leverage position, that's an amazing short, right? That's an amazing short. There are some retracements going on in the market, and at some point, it'd be smart to take profit, right? So that's the best I can do. Obviously, not financial advice, but it's when you hit target 1, target 2, target 3, and at what point do you decide to take profit? Maybe you can continue to hold it, or maybe you take a portion off, right? Those are all things you have to kind of look at. Um, whereas, you know, ExxonMobil also had this breakdown, right? And continuing to be bearish, but had it wicked down, and maybe it's going to be bouncing as well, right? A little bit slower, or it's more gappy because it's stock and it's closed overnight, right? Compared to like futures and stuff like that, right? Or CFDs on this one. So sell signal on SQQQ, right? There's bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. At what point do you decide, like, is this a longer term play or is this a shorter term play? But either way, it's like, if you're swing trading, you have to decide at what point do you take profits, right? You've got like on the daily chart, even you have a sell signal. Do you take profits on your long and then reload for the next opportunity, right? Is that something that you do? So you've got bearish divergence here. You've got bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart, right? 4-hour chart, and it's breaking down. So if you're in a long position from back here, say $18, do you take profit on that? At what point do you take profit and then you reload? Or are you just one of those swing traders who buy it, hold it, even though it's reversing, and then you don't get out, or you got in late and now you're underwater, right? Like, when are you taking your entries and your exits, and when are you actually going to have the strategy built out so you can be profitable, right? So that's SQQQ. Let's go back to the daily chart. Natural gas. Let's see. Let's take a quick look. Disney. Okay, we'll take a look at Disney. Just want to take a look at these comments real quick. The usual. Yep. 2 a.m. Yep. Got it. BTC. Long. Okay, so no new comments. Got it. Oh, West Diddy. Hashtag let's win together. You know it. Let's win together. We win. We win together. All right, let's go. Oh, got a new comment. Tom, aloha from Maui. Sniper Wisdom, Sniper Tom in the Discord. Great stuff, Jesse. Is always typically in part of the 1.75x replay crew. Wow, that is so fast. You could definitely get through very quickly. 1.25 is like the fastest I can watch it and still absorb the information. So your mind definitely works a lot faster than mine does, Tom. Have a good time in Maui. But if I was in Maui, I'd definitely be on 1.75 and just try to get the gist of it. Let me try to talk faster for you anyways. Here's a fun one to look at. JOFNGU. Yep. We've looked at that in the past. So we can take a look at that for you. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, you got it. All right. We're going to keep going here. I want to take a look at natural gas, hit a magnificent 7. We can look at crypto assets, all that stuff. I put this magnet here because this is our first major long-term target. Natural gas on the daily chart is ultra bullish, right? The weekly chart is bullish. We had the buy signal back here at under $3. It's continuing upwards. What we laid out a long time ago in the Discord is that way back here, right? There is the bullish divergence way back here. And since then, there's been higher lows being put in. And the comparison that I did was it looked very similar pattern to Bitcoin, right? So natural gas, it had this longer term peak followed by the breakdown, followed by the bearish divergence that was played out, right? And then a big drop down followed by a lower high. And to me, that looked exactly like Bitcoin, right? So when we saw that play out and I did some comparisons and stuff, then we saw the bullish divergence. And I know a lot of people probably got chopped up back and forth, all this way, and then probably gave up, right? At some point, you just kind of give up. And I was trading it on lower time frames, so I didn't get chopped up, but it was very difficult, right? It was very difficult. So I had to drop down to the lower time frames. And then it just takes off, right? And a lot of people probably got discouraged on it and end up not being able to capitalize on the breakout, right? So it was difficult. So don't be too hard on yourself. You most likely had to drop down to lower time frames, but the opportunity was there. And I know Reiki is in a long position or was in a long position, and it's leveraged and got in on right in and after the gap up. And I'm pretty sure she's still holding it, right? So let me know, Reiki, if you're still holding that position. It's bullish on the daily chart and it's on the weekly chart, and it's ultra bullish on the daily. So to finish my thought process on it looked very similar to Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin, after the bullish divergence on the weekly chart, came back up and retested the 200-week moving average. Will natural gas continue to follow a similar pattern, but much faster, much quicker, and much could hit this target much faster than Bitcoin did, right? Maybe it doesn't take multi-weeks to hit it. Maybe it hits it fairly quickly, because this correction, this topping pattern happened much faster than Bitcoin, right? This drop happened much faster than Bitcoin. After this, will it come up and hit the 200-week moving average versus going through that bottoming phase much faster than Bitcoin? It seems like it. So that's what we were looking at way back here in April, and even before that, back in February, and calling it out in Discord. Here we are now after the buy signal. Now price is moving up fairly quickly, and what you're going to be watching is on the daily chart. It's ultra bullish on the daily chart. So what you want to do is kind of map this out. And this is going to be your mental stop loss, right? Your mental stop loss. So if you have a stop loss in, say you got in back here, maybe your stop loss in is at $2.80 roughly, right? If you got in after the gap based off of a lower time frame, right? Because the buy signal happened after that, and you put it very tight stop loss here at 280, or you moved it up to there, right? And now you're just kind of holding it. Maybe you've even been able to move your stop loss up to break even. Seems it's still back below the trend line. So at that point, something would be wrong anyways. So possibly moving your stop loss up to break even at $2.90. And now you're in a risk-free trade, right? Possibly you're in the risk-free trade. The magnet is pulling to this first major target area, along with, oh, by the way, the 200-week moving average is in that first target area, and you're kind of mapping it out. And so you kind of build out the trend lines from there, right? So you're building it out, and you want to push it as long as you can, right? So this is an upward trend line, obviously. This is starting to be a more steep trend line or a more parabolic trend line. And so you're kind of mapping it out and try to let it, you know, let it do its thing and be its ultra bullishness and continue to pump. There's going to be some retracements, there's going to be some sideways movement, but all in all, try to let it be as ultra bullish as possible. And maybe you consider taking profit either on a breakdown of this trend line or take some off at the table hitting a key target area, and or both of them at the same time, right? So you just kind of got to decide what you're going to be doing on natural gas. Hope that helps. Let's jump over to Magnificent Seven. Let's keep going. We're already 36 minutes in, but I want to cover a lot of these potential bounces, right? Still looking for that. We weren't certain that this was a higher low. We were speculating on it. And then now with the daily close back above, that was not the higher low. So we're looking for, wherever that higher low is going to be, right? We've got the trend lines drawn out. Very similar thoughts to natural gas, kind of let it play out. And then the higher probability is when, price is breaking down from here. That's when you're going to know that higher low is in. So just waiting patiently on Nvidia to finally put in that higher low. I think it's less likely that it puts in additional bullish divergence, but it's possible, right? You don't want to you want to stay neutral, right? So, but it seems like a higher low, wherever that's going to be, a higher low will be put in on Nvidia at some point, and so we'll see. We'll take a look at it. But right now, this was the bearish divergence, and we're still looking for that lower high. Yeah, not higher low. We're looking for that lower high, and then that would be your higher probability to short the bounce on Nvidia. Same with Meta. This was a lower high, so we're going to find out if this is going to put in, get stopped out or stopped at this trend line, right? Well, this trend line, let's redraw it. Let's take a look from there to there. Is it breaking out, right? Is it breaking out? It looks like it's breaking out of this downward trend line, right? It is currently bullish on the daily chart for Meta. Let's see. But it looks like even on the weekly chart, right? Because it was trending downward, still waiting for that lower high to be put in on that weekly chart. And that's what I'm still thinking at this point, right? So even though it's bouncing, right, at some point you're waiting for that lower high to be put in. And once it does, then I'd be expecting it, price to come back down. So it's still currently trending downward, right? But it is in bullish territory. So these bounces can be pretty massive, right? Could be pretty massive bounces, and it's continuing to bounce. But you got this lower high here, right? And so even if price puts in a higher high from here, it could be bearish divergence, and then this bearish divergence could roll back down. So that's Meta. But as of right now, it did break above this trend line. Could it be a fake out to the upside, right? Could it be a fake out to the upside based off of the weekly chart? Amazon, right? Let's take a look at Amazon. We talked about this on the live stream? Did price get front ran by the right before this second target and the 200-week moving average, right? Let's see, you've got you don't have any bullish divergence, no bullish divergence, but are we going to see a higher bounce, right? So you had this move down here, had a bounce. is this a higher low that's getting put in? It's too early to say. Is this going to be a higher low and then see a higher bounce up here and come back up and fill this gap that we talked about up here at 135? Well, if there's a pullback on the DXY and the VIX and the 10-year yield and there's bounces across the board, it's possible that price comes down, puts in that higher low, comes back up, and then bounces higher to put in that lower high, right? So that's what you might be able to expect on Amazon. So most likely, if that's going to be play out, this was not a bear flag, right? And you know my thoughts on patterns, right? Unless you're brand new to the live streams and the X app and the Discord and all that stuff, unless you're new to all of that, then you know my thoughts on patterns, that they don't play out as much as people probably think they do, at least especially if you consider price targets. So looks like it came down, bounce. We'll see if it's putting in this higher low and if it's going to continue to bounce, make a higher target from there. As of right now, this is the lower high, but it seems like it could bounce up. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Is it bouncing in the 4-hour chart? So on the 4-hour chart, you have it looks like it's a higher low here, and it's starting to find relative strength on the 4-hour chart. And so it does seem like we're going to get a higher bounce here and potentially fill that gap there at 135. So, if you're in an Amazon short, are you going to continue to hold it all the way through that bounce, which could be painful? We talked about this with Dr. Nick on one of the live streams on a Monday, and we talked to him about like not taking profit and holding through a painful retracement. It takes up a lot of bandwidth because that whole entire bounce, you could be waiting. And of course, things could change, right? So that's why we're swing traders. That's why we promote taking profits. And if you get a big move down, it's like, at what point are you taking profits, right? Like if you're in a short from back here on a 4-hour chart, as an example, right, from 141, at what point do you start taking profits? Are you taking it at target 1, close to target 2? Maybe there's a bounce, maybe there's a retracement. Then there's a buy signal on the RSI, followed by a strong move up, and there's some relative strength starting to gain. The DXY is breaking down, all that stuff, right? All that to consider. At what point do you decide to take profit of your short? And then you're waiting patiently. If you think the overall market is still bearish, right, and you think this is just a retracement of that move, then you're waiting patiently for the next potential short the bounce opportunity, right? Waiting patiently. Like it could take a week or 2 weeks or whatever for it to kind of like get ready to make that next move down. And then you take advantage to the downside again. So Amazon doesn't have a buy signal yet. There's no pending buy signal on the 4-hour chart, right? Let's look at Microsoft. There was a buy signal already, right, on Microsoft. So it's in retracement mode from this move, possibly higher up. But as of right now, it's just a retracement. This is a 4-hour chart. Let's look at the daily chart. Pending buy signal on the daily chart. And at the end of the day, when it bounces, it could just create that lower high. Wherever it is, wherever that retracement is, could be that lower high. Similar to here, right? So you got a lower high, lower high. This is that bearish divergence, lower high, lower high, lower high. All right. So where are we at, everybody? Are we smashing the likes? Let me know how many likes are in the comment. Doc, hey, from Germany. Today, a little bit late. No worries. You can be whether you're on the live crew, the replay crew. We appreciate your support. Definitely smash the like button. And if you're like Tom, you could replay it on a faster speed. I don't know if you can replay it as fast as Tom at 1.75. It's not a competition. For me, 1.25 is about as much as you can do. Let's take a look at Tesla. Had the buy signal a couple days ago, still in that consolidation. It's possible you could see that bigger move to the upside if it breaks out of this downward trend line. So, uh, but what we are talking about is the possibility of it consolidating, right? Consolidating in this here. Let me grab the brush. Consolidating like this, similar to silver, and then silver broke down from there, right? But let's not count out if there's some sort of um, pullback on DXY and 10-year yield and the VIX and all that stuff. It's possible it could break out to the upside, right? It could break up to the upside. So let's stay neutral. Let it do its thing. Let it consolidate, right? See if it puts in that lower high, then breaks down, and then comes down similar to like what silver did, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it happens. Of course, we expect fake outs along the way, right? And we're covering Tesla right now. So I know Arnold is a big Tesla into Tesla. I don't see John, the Tesla. He loves Tesla. So I don't see John on here. Maybe he just hasn't commented. It's possible you get some sort of breakout to the upside, puts in a lower high, right? Fills this gap, and then breaks all the way down, right? This would be a lower high scenario as well, even though it takes out this lower high, and then does its breakdown from there, right? So it is possible that you get some bearish divergence and a lower high in RSI, and then it comes down. And this would be more of like a fake out to me, right? Like even if you played it from here, yes, you could have a buy the dip scenario, and then just be aware that watch out for potential. This is overall a lower high and bearish divergence, possibly, right? That is a possibility. I think it's less likely for now. I'm thinking that it's still like that silver play, right? Puts in that lower high, continues to go through that consolidation, and then see if it breaks down from there. But prepared for the breakout to the upside as well. You want to be prepared for two scenarios, right? Or more, and play it and have it lined up. And the more you stock a trade, and the more you take a look at it and stare at it and stare at it and stare at it, the more you'll be prepared for that breakout, right? So you got a pending buy signal on Apple here uh, on the daily chart. So again, we drew this out way back here. Let's take a look at it. Let me clean this up a little bit. Let me clean it up. So this scenario where after coming down, putting in a lower high, coming down, possibly putting in a lower high again, right? Remember, you got another smaller gap up here at like 181. And so you can get that buy signal and then it gets faded, right? Get another buy the dip, sell the rip scenario, and then it gets faded. So how are you going to know, right? How are you going to know? Well, if it starts breaking down from that trend line, right? You can see it, you know, it starts breaking back down from that trend line. And you could build this out like steeper, but these are those buy the dip, sell the rip. So it happens very quickly. It just reverses. They get the the bounces and the pumps as it becomes more bearish become less and less over time, right? So you got this massive move, you have a lesser move, and then potentially a lesser move, right? And then you can see it as it goes down. So we'll see if it puts in that lower high and then continues downward from there. That's Apple. Google, been waiting for this. Where is that lower high going to be? Where is it going to be at, right? Is it going to put in additional bullish divergence? I mean, that'd be pretty crazy after hitting target one that you get continued bearish divergence, not bullish divergence, or is going to put in a slightly lower high, right? So let's take a look at the candles. You've got right there, basically right there. So it would have to close below there for a lower high, right? Any closes above this white trend line is going to put in additional bearish divergence, right? So, assuming that this RSI peak is lower, that is going to put in additional bearish divergence, meaning higher prices, or any close below there, any close below this RSI peak here at, say, call it 64, then you're going to be looking at uh, the lower high or the bearish divergence, right? So that's where you'd be kind of watching on Google. Had that big move down, filled this gap already. All right, let's move back over. Let's take a look. Let's start charting some of the comments. We're already 50 minutes in. Let's rock and roll. Let's keep going. Let's look at let's take a look at some of the assets you want me to take a look at. Yep, we talked about that, right? SP 500. There's no buy signal on the daily chart as of yet, right? The weekly chart is still bearish. So it could just be kind of like bouncing here and waiting for the trending dots to catch up. All these bounces, right? It takes time to play out. And it typically doesn't just go straight down. We mentioned that sometimes it goes straight down, like the Moscow exchange, as an example, Netflix, stuff like that from 2021. But more often than not, it's a big drop followed by a bounce, followed by a bigger drop, followed by a lesser bounce, and so on and so on. So you can kind of see like it's kind of trending over. It's holding this trend line from here, but it already had a close below this trend line here. This is that longer term upward trend line. So, but it's still bearish on the weekly. So on this daily chart, you're still looking at it as if, you know, came down, it's going to bounce, find support, retrace, let those trending dots kind of catch up, let the moving averages kind of catch up, right? And then it kind of like rolls over after that. So that's SP 500. Diving a little bit more. 5-day bullish divergence on the 5-day chart for Bitcoin. Let's take a look. Oh, let me remove that. Let's get back on the crosshairs. 5-day bullish divergence. Yeah, I mean, there's slight bullish divergence there, but the thing about it, glitch, is that it could be cleared already, right? It could be cleared. It is bullish on the 5-day chart and the weekly chart as of now, but again, this was bearish divergence, and we're still looking for price to put in that lower high, right? So again, we already talked about where we're wrong is if it breaks through all these targets, all this resistance, comes back down, flips the resistance into support, and then continues up, right? So wherever that is going to be, whether it's like that or it's like, you know, that where it comes down where it breaks out, flips that in support, and then breaks out, right? That's where we know we're wrong. Until then, we're still looking for the same thing that we've been talking about for months now, right? So we've been talking about this for a while. So a little bit of bullish divergence, you know, very slight bullish divergence glitch, but um, it could be cleared out already, right? So, but good call. Good call on that. There is bullish divergence. There's the bullish divergence on the daily chart that we talked about. And we talked about it on crypto and stuff like that. So that's one thing we haven't really covered yet is crypto. We can take a look at all the bounces on crypto as well. Let's go back to the comments, see if you want me to chart anything. Disney. All right, let's look at Disney. Let's get back on the crosshairs. Disney, where are you at? Let's see. Don't forget. Let's hit that goal. 100 likes. Don't forget. All right. We'll be obnoxious on this channel every once in a while, or probably more than we need to be, right? Disney, where are you? Disney. I know I have you on the watch list. Probably closer to the bottom. Disney. All right. Well, I'll just I'll do a quick search. It'll take me right to it. Oh, take a look at it. There it is. Got it. All right. So had the bullish divergence, right? We talked about this, and it's getting very close. So you're in a long position, already in profits, and stop loss at entry point. Okay, so you took a very aggressive approach, and we talked about it already, right? And it was already, the 1-2 punch. If you're in recorded coaching, you know what I'm talking about. The 1-2 punch. You're right in that 1 to 2 punch. It's right there on the potential breakout. We're talking about potentially there, or coming back down, putting in a higher low. We got bullish divergence, right? Bullish divergence, and even bullish divergence down there. There's no higher low yet. That'll be a higher probability. But what could happen is this, right? Could it get rejected here on this buy signal? It could. And it could still come back down like this. Here, let me redraw it. Let me redraw it. Let me get that off, right? So we've got this downward trend line, and there's no higher low as of yet. Of course, it could come out like this, come back down, put in a higher low, and then hit those targets, right? That's one scenario. If it ends up closing below here, it could retrace back down, find support at a key area, right? And put in a higher low. I always have to think about it. I don't know why I always get mixed up. Probably because I'm flipping back and forth on the chart so fast, right? Or at least in my mind, and from chart to chart. So it could put in that higher low, kind of consolidate, and then break out, right? So kind of two scenarios, both get to the same spot. I'm just saying don't be surprised. At some point there's going to be a higher low that gets put in after the bullish divergence. So does that mean it's going to do that like this, kind of put in that higher low, and then get that final breakthrough from there? But if you took a more aggressive line, right? This is probably more the aggressive line that I would have personally taken. You have that downward wedge, right? So if you kind of if you were to have this downward wedge and you take that, say you're some sort of a measurement, right? You would see that price would come back up into here at some point, right? So again, not a huge pattern guy. It's just, it would probably line up with some of the other sniper targets. And of course, you've got this horizontal here where you could possibly see a rejection, where it comes up, rejects, and then comes back up again. But what we do know is that we've got a gap up here, right? We've got this gap up at $100. At some point, it's going to get filled. We don't know when. Let's look at the weekly chart. We do have that longer term bullish divergence, right? Going all the way back to May 2022. And that lines up with price coming back to fill that gap and, up into that $100 range at some point. But it's bullish divergence still, and there's still no longer term higher low either, right? It's still bullish divergence all the way back to September. So, at some point, Caesar, there's going to be a higher low that gets put in. So just don't get uh, taken by surprise. Try to push your trade as long as possible. And then don't forget to take profit, possibly at a key target area, or if it starts to break back down, knowing that there's going to be a higher low, right? So you just kind of decide what your overall plan is ahead of time. And then that will be your higher probability. If something were to play out like that, that will be your higher probability reversal and breakout to the upside is after there's a higher low put in. So whether that's down here at $80 or whether that's up here at a higher area like 81, 82, whatever it is, breaks out, comes back down, tests it, and then breaks out from there, right? Could be a very subtle higher low. Doesn't mean it has to come all the way back down, right? It could pump all the way up here, call it $83, put in a higher low at like $81, $82. So just keep an eye on that and just be aware of it. At some point, you would think that it's got to put in a higher low, right? So that'll be your higher probability breakout. But looks like you took an aggressive position on the breakout. So, and you're in profit, like you said, stop loss is in. Textbook sniper move. Good job on that. Awesome work. Awesome work. All right. So that's Disney. I like it. Pending buy signal on Disney on the daily chart. Let's see. Okay. Anything else? BTC long. Okay. We got that. Got that. What else? What else? What else? All right. Tom, let me know if you're still watching this on 1.75 in Maui. FNGU. What did you say to me? FN. I'm not going to search for it. I know. I think I'm pretty sure it's on here. ETFs, right? Did I type it in right? FN. Oh, Fung. That's right. FNGU. Got it. Got it. Yeah, it's on here. There it is. Pending buy signal on FNGU, Tom. FNGU, Tom, right? So you got a pending buy signal. No bullish divergence there, right? On the weekly chart, on the daily chart. And there was this gap to be filled. So it's bouncing, right? So you had the bearish divergence going back to July 2023. You had the big breakdown, right? Then you had a lower high get put in, followed by another lower low put in. And so now it's bouncing, right? It looks like it's one of those, potential buy the dip, sell those rips, right? So that's what you're kind of watching right now. If you're looking at the overall downward trend, it's still like that, right? Still the overall downward trend. It's possible that was it, but you got overhead resistance coming in at a key target retracement area, right? Even if it breaks out higher, it could be a fake out and then come back down, right? But as of right now, there is a pending buy signal on it. Let's look at the weekly chart. You want to look at the 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, right? So that's the 1 day. Let's look at the 2 day chart. 2 day chart, interesting, has a reversal candle back on late September, right? Did have a reversal candle there. Again, it's still in bearish territory. There's no buy signal on the 2 day chart. And at some point could just be putting in a lower high, right? Let's look at the 3 day chart. What else did you say? Okay. Let's look at the 3 day. Yeah, still bearish on the 3 day. It just looks like, you had this low as of right now. And like even RSI is just kind of coming back up into the EMA, but the EMA is still trending downward. And even the EMA fast line is below and is bearish right now. So you've got the 3 day trending dots up here at 167. If you look at the weekly chart, you have a pending buy signal after a low was put in, right? So you had a lower high, you had a lower low, another lower low, and will this be another lower high before the weekly chart flips bearish? You got the trending dots still trending down in the weekly chart, right? You kind of redraw this out in the weekly chart. That longer term downward trend in the weekly chart comes right into play near the trending dots, which are red and trending down, right? So I would, it's something to look at, is that it was a pending buy signal, but it's a pending buy signal below the trending dots, right? So lower highs and lower lows being put in on the weekly chart. This could just be another lower high as of right now. So, there was some profit taken at 138 right before the 200-week moving average. So doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. It seems like a bigger player took profits right before, front ran everybody, And then you could see that on the lower time frames playing out. Whoo! Whoo! All right, Doc. Yeah. Doc. All right, we got Super Justice Meow. I love some of these names. Uh Super Justice Meow. That's awesome. Cool. Hi, Jesse. Can we look at BTC miners such as Mara and Wolf? 4-hour RSI is having a higher high. Long trade. Okay. All right. First, I thought Michael Gold was gonna bring up the miners first, but we got Super Justice Meow bring up the miners. Tom watching live. Nice. Yeah, well, you caught up on 1.75. You're watching live. It'll be over soon, Tom, and then you can get back to chasing sunsets or chasing sunrises in Maui, or maybe you're Maui. You're helping out the local folks there too. I'm not sure what's going on in Maui, but watching live. Thank you, my man. Thank you. All right, where was I? Super Justice Meow. How could I forget that? Okay, let's look at Mara Marathon Digital, right? Let's take a look. I have it on here, but just to save time, I think it's faster. Or it's not crypto. It's crypto related, but Mara, there it is. There it is. Okay, weekly chart is still bearish. John, I'm late. Replay crew, hit the like. Yes, John, I already mentioned you before you were on here. We were covering Tesla, so check it out. We are covering Tesla. I covered Tesla. I'm already one step ahead of you, John, and I already called you out that you're probably one of the biggest Tesla lovers here. I covered it, so definitely check it out on the replay crew. Thanks for smashing the like. All right. Super Justice Meow. Weekly chart is still bearish, right? The weekly chart is still bearish. The trending dots are way back here at $12. Mike G, no party here. Just up early to catch the stream. Patiently waiting by the dip on the miners for the bull run. All right, we got another miner. Well, Mike G, I like the sound of that. I like the sound that you took profit and it was your highest at the time. We did a private live stream or a private recording for the snipers in the Discord in the recorded coaching about your last trade. It was a couple months ago now, but it was your highest money earner, I believe, on the miner. So now you're waiting patiently for the next one. I love it. That's exactly what we want to hear, right? We want to hear that you're waiting patient for that next buy the dip scenario and sniper that next one. I love it. All right. Again, still bearish on the weekly chart, right? Will it find support? It looks like it was a retracement to a key target area. We have these lines out that if we get a potential bounce. Let's dive down to the lower time frames, right? Got the daily chart. We've got some bullish divergence from here to here, right? We've got some not there. This could be a slightly higher low. And if I change the settings, it's possible that there's a reversal candle on the inputs. Possible. So we got bullish divergence on Mara, right? Marathon Digital. Mara. Let's call it Mara. I don't know. I'm always going to go back and forth. Possible bullish divergence, possible higher low, and there's some relative strength. There's some signs of life on the signs of life on the relative strength, right? On the daily chart. Let's drop down the 4-hour chart. Since we're seeing a lot of bounces on the 4-hour chart, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, so we have bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart going all the way back to August, right? So August, bullish divergence, Is this going to be a sneaky higher low? There is relative strength coming in on the 4-hour chart. So we could be seeing a bounce, right? Maybe it's not entire trend change, but maybe it's that bounce up into those weekly trending dots, right? So depends on what time frame you're going to be on. There's some work to be done still on the daily chart. We wouldn't even receive a potential buy signal on the daily chart in the bot alerts for recorded coaching yet, but it could be in the near future. The 4-hour chart is still bearish, but showing signs of life. You'd have to drop down to a lower time frame, right? You got bullish divergence on the 3-hour, a buy signal on RSI there. You have to drop down to the 2-hour chart. There's a pending buy signal on the 2-hour chart. So you just got to decide like how low are you going to go, or are you going to wait for a higher probability? Because there could be always additional bullish divergence, meaning lower prices. So that's why I'm usually on the daily chart, is that I'm waiting for that higher probability. I'm waiting for that bot alert in the potential buy signal. I'm waiting for that. I'm looking for the bullish divergence. I'm looking for those reversal candles. I'm looking for a break of a downward trend line. I'm looking for all that stuff for a higher probability, right? So let's get back on the daily chart. So if this is going to be like a daily chart breakout, right? You still have some overhead resistance, right? So even on that lower 4-hour chart, it could do something like this, come back up, and then put in another higher low, and then break out, and then see if it comes up and hits some of those targets, right? Comes up and hits some of those targets from there. So there's signs of life. There's some possibilities. You just have to decide how aggressive you're going to be. And the more aggressive you're going to be, then you just have to live with those results and try to push it as long as you can, and put in your stop loss and do everything that Caesar was talking about on his trade, right? So on the Disney trade, everything he was talking about, we talk about, right? We're talking about, make sure you know when you're wrong, make sure when to push the trades as long as possible, because you could have the best quote unquote risk management ever, but if you don't have an edge in the market, and if you don't push your winners, right, you're not going to be successful, right? Your account's slowly going to get chewed up over time, right? We want you to be profitable, so try to push your winners longer. Try to have that edge in the market, and if you don't have an edge, then eventually you're even with the best risk management, you're going to eventually bleed out on your accounts. We don't want that, right? We don't want that. I'm late, but catching up. Sniper team, you know it, Emmanuel. All right, 10 o'clock. Oh, yeah, you are late, buddy, but that's all right. Better late than never. And you can always be on the replay crew. So don't worry, live crew, replay crew. We appreciate you being on the live crew, but we appreciate you being on the replay crew as well. We just like you to be on the crew. Awesome. Thanks for the explanation. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. I'm late. Replay crew. Replay crew is awesome. You know it. You know it. Up early, patiently. Yep, you got it. And have a good weekend. Thanks, John. You have a good weekend too. Do we have any other assets you guys want to chart? Should we look at the crypto assets? We're about 13 minutes over an hour. We still have some viewers on here. Do you guys want me to look at anything else? If not, we can call it. Let me just take a quick look at Bitcoin again, right? NASDAQ over 15,000, bouncing. DXY, right? VIX, US oil. Let's look at Ethereum, right? Had that sell signal, and had the RSI sell signal. Solana. Solano. I always say Solano for some reason. Probably because Sol is the ticker symbol, but I always call it Solano, and I've been called out on that before. But Solana, still currently bullish on Solana. Let's see what else. ETH. Can you update ETH? Not sure if it looks like retest and continuation lower, or we're going to retrace to the upside. Let's see. It's bouncing right now, but overall, right now, Emmanuel, we have to look at it as there was that reversal candle on the daily chart. We had a close below this upward trend line. We had a close below the trailing dots. We had a sell signal. And so after these, you know, 1, 2, 4 big candle moves down from 1750, there is some sort of a retracement bounce right here. You probably see it better on a lower time frame. So it doesn't mean that it couldn't like retrace back up, retest it, and then come back down, right? So if you were to drop down to like a lower time frame, you see that was a pretty big move down, right? May have found temporary bottom and could retrace back up. So, you know, it's a retracement game, right? It's a reversal game. It's a short the bounce game. It's you know, buy the dip game. So that's the game. That's the swing trading game. So after this big move down, right? At some point, it's going to get a retracement, and then you're going to find out if it's going to be a lower high or if this was a higher low, right? So with the daily chart still bearish, you have to lean towards this being a retracement for a lower high, right? If things flip around, then you have to look at this is going to be a higher low, right? So as of right now, it looks like that temporary bottom is in, and now you're possibly going to get a retracement back up. You got a buy signal on the RSI 4-hour chart, right? Come back to the daily. So that's what you're kind of watching. So even on the daily chart, right, it could kind of come back up into the here. There was that RSI sell signal, and then at some point put in a lower high and then continue back down, right? So that's what you're kind of watching right now. There was a breakdown after this kind of move back up here from 1500 all the way up to 1750. Retracement. That's what you're kind of watching right now. Let's look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart is still bearish, right? And price came back up into the trending dots, got rejected. And so kind of waiting for it, like, is this going to be that lower high, right? It's not confirmed yet. You'd have to take out this low here for this to be confirmed. But it is, this could be that lower high here on the weekly chart. And then if so, it would continue downwards from there. So that's Ethereum. What else do we have? Ryan, any way you can look at LMT? You got it. You know it. We're still here. We're still chugging along. Anything else you want me to see, whether you're live crew, replay crew, you're here late, it doesn't matter. You still got me on the horn, on the phone. We're not on the phone. We're on a call, right? So we're on a live stream, whatever. LMT. Let me know, like, if it's if I don't recognize it, it's faster for me to search and make sure that I'm Lockheed Martin Corporation. Is that right, Ryan? Reiki, thanks. You got it. Is this the one you're looking at? Lockheed Martin Corporation. It's a huge corporation. Is that the one? Yep, got it. Awesome. Okay, so the weekly chart on Lockheed. Are you looking for? I'm assuming you're looking for, like, you know, a value play, and you're looking for a potential buy the dip scenario, right? On Lockheed Martin. Let me know, Ryan. As of right now, it's a wait and see for me because the weekly chart is ultra bearish, right? So ultra bearish. You have the peak here at 496. That is the all-time high, right? So you had all-time high peak at about above 495 close. Then you had a lower high with a wick to take out that former high, right? So it wicked above, and it was a fake out with a lower high put in, right? A lower high put in. And then now you've just had, like, on the weekly chart, a lower high and then another breakout. Looking for a bounce. It's at a historical inflection point, and got a harmonic pattern, maybe a trend line on the weekly. Yeah, just be aware that it is ultra bearish. So even if it's looking bullish on lower time frames, you got to be careful of like those bounces unless you're ready to play like on a lower time frame, lower bounces, and it comes down like that. Or like if it's on a lower time frame, like say the daily chart or something, it might just be like an intraday candle straight up and straight back down while uh it's still bearish on, not only bearish on the weekly chart, but it's ultra bearish on the weekly chart. So I don't like to take long positions when it's this bearish, right? So what I would do is I'd kind of like start drawing out those trend lines, right? So it's in this long term downward trend line, downward trend. And if you kind of build it out from there, right? You still have time for this to potentially reverse. If this were hypothetically the bottom, right? If you're calling this potentially the bottom, I'm not saying you are, but if someone were to call this out as the bottom, it would still take time for the ship to get turned around, right? It would take time before a significant bounce is going to happen because it's so bearish, right? If this were the bottom, which I'm not saying it is, it could have bullish divergence, right? For a long time. It could have bullish divergence. And that means it could have lower prices, right? Lower prices. And then have a move out. So do you want to get caught up in that, right? I don't. I don't. I want to wait for a higher probability reversal. Even if that means waiting for this first trend line and like you're seeing like a breakout and like the relative strength is coming back in and is gaining momentum back up to the upside. Not only is it ultra bearish, there's no momentum to the upside whatsoever on the weekly chart. And if you look at the monthly chart, it's bearish, right? What if we don't know? This could be the bottom. Remember, this could be the bottom. You can kind of see like on RSI, it's found bottom here back around that 44, December 2018, January 2021, November. And by the way, thank you for pointing out Bubble Donkey. I was waiting for that name to come back. We had an awesome name. What was it? Super Stream Meow. Yeah. Oh, Super Justice Meow. But Bubble Donkey is such a great name as well. I love Bubble Donkey. This is so funny. Uh, so I'm glad you pointed this out because this is a great chart to look at because I don't even think um I don't remember charting this in a long time, right? So you got this, it found, if price found bottom there, RSI found bottom there. Is is RSI going to find bottom again at this 44 level on the monthly, or is it going to break down, right? So if you look at it, like there's a recent sell signal on RSI back here September. There is also a sell signal back here on the sharpshooter candles. And we've got a potential, it's too early because it's early in the month, but a potential monthly close back below the 200-week moving average. If you get a monthly close back below, if you get a monthly close below 44, what if RSI continues to trend down, right? And doesn't find support at this 44 level like it has previously 3 times? It could be long-term bearish, right? So long-term bearish for a while, right? So this is why like I wait for higher probability reversals, and sometimes it takes a while for the ship to get turned around. With all that said, maybe you're looking on a shorter term bounce. So let's look at the daily chart. Let's drop down. So daily chart, knowing that the weekly chart overall is bearish, ultra bearish, knowing that overall the monthly chart is bearish, right? We don't have bullish divergence on the daily chart. It's ultra bearish right now, right? So even if on lower time frames it gets a bounce back up to the 200-week moving average at 405, the trending dots at 408, maybe some sort of retracement along the way. Expect bounces along the way, right? Expect bounces along the way, whatever it is. While there's bullish divergence in the future, whether it's on the weekly chart, daily chart, whatever, when the monthly chart is still bearish as well, and there's potential bullish divergence, meaning lower prices, you just got to be aware of all that. So, that's what I'm looking at. Hope that helps. Historical inflection point, and it could continue downward historically, right? So it's below the 200-week moving average. We're getting daily closes below. Could be a weekly close below, right? Could be the first week below it. I don't know if you're on the stream. I think it was yesterday, Ryan. Take a look at the stream from yesterday or the day before. Let me know, someone in the comments. But we charted 3M. 3M. Oh, we could just take a look at it. I'm not saying this is going to happen for Lockheed Martin, but this is what we just charted yesterday, Ryan, or the day before. I can't remember. They're all blending in. There was a monthly close below 3M back here on September 21. And this is a possibility of what could happen on a stock, right? It's just bearish for months, if not years, right? You don't know where the bottom's going to be. Kind of map this out. Does RSI find support at 44 on the monthly chart like it has in the past? Maybe, but that's guessing, and I don't like to guess. And you can see that it could, there's always a possibility of going lower for a lot longer than what the narratives say out there, than what the noise says. I literally just follow what the charts are saying. Whether I love Bitcoin, or whether John loves Tesla, or Michael Jordan loves Nike, whatever it is, or he loves Jordan Brand, whatever the case may be, the charts are telling us that it's bearish on 3M company for a long time, right? It's been in a bear market since 2018. Lockheed Martin, right? We had bearish divergence going all the way back to 189, right? So we got a very similar setup to, so my point is, expect bounces along the way, obviously, and rallies and stuff like that. But if you're looking at this long monthly term, it's possible Lockheed Martin could be very similar to 3M and could do a long-term retracement. It's at $400 right now. It's possible you see prices all the way back to 190. It's possible it follows 3M and comes back to like 2012, 2007 prices like 3M. If you look back, look how far it took, a long time for it to play out, right? So there could be huge bounces, huge rallies. Like this is like a full 1 year rally, right? This is a monthly chart. It takes forever to play out. It's possible. So you just have to decide, are you playing bounces? Are you playing rallies? What time frame you're on? All that stuff. I know it's a lot. Bubble Donkey, thanks for all. You got it. Thank you. Make sure everyone's smashing the like button. 100 likes is the goal. Let's see. Let's go back. Sorry. Right. Looking for just a few percent on lower time frames. Appreciate. Yeah. Just know that you're counter trading, right? So you're counter trading, and sometimes the play is, and sometimes it's good if you're like doing just a couple points on like options play. When it's so bearish, you might get a very cheap options call, like on a long position, because it is bearish. So like the brokers price it in that way, but you just have to know that like if the longer term trend is bearish, if you're buying that dip, you better sell that rip, right? And just know that the overall trend is bearish, and that it's possible there's a long-term breakdown similar to 3M when the monthly chart is bearish. And like there's really been no like major correction since like December 2011. it's been almost like up only. You could kind of draw out these lines like you're starting to get into like the last hope for the bulls, right? The last hope for the monthly narratives, right? That it's going to be. I mean, what if you get a monthly close below here, right? It could find support, get one of those bounces that you're looking for, but it's ultra bearish on the weekly chart. It could break down further, then get a bounce. So that's what I'm saying about you know, just staying neutral and let the charts tell you, right? That was like a major breakdown right there. 445 breakdown, monthly sell. This is follow through. The weekly is ultra bearish, right? You get the point. You got it. You got the point. You got it. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's about all I can handle. Hour and a half in. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Thanks for all your support. I appreciate you. I'm going to do a deeper dive on a video tonight, probably the stock market, some of these others. Comment, let me know what you want to see. I'll send it out through the free newsletter. It'll be a YouTube video included. So definitely take a look at that. And get outside, get away from the charts. I know we say that, but I went hiking last week. I try to go hiking. We try to go hiking on a regular basis, take the dog out, get some fresh air, maybe hit the golf course, the beach, the mountains, the lakes, wherever you're at. Hope you have a good weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.